Yeah, 24 degrees. It's for Canada, it's so warm.
Kyoto is saying very hot.
Mm,
Over the 30.
yeah, yeah, Japan is always warm.
Continue till that's all the November, December maybe.
We have already the guests in the room.
And that's all the private room in the office. Mm.
？Can you hear?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Welcome to T Chang International Canada. Today's MC is Kokubu-kun.
My name is Kokubu. I'm working in Tongari as intern. Nice to meet you. I'll introduce Canada firstly. Canada is a country where nature and cities.
Can you see the slides?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah, now.
Okay.
Let's go. Okay, I'll introduce Canada.
Canada. Yes.
Canada is a country where nature and cities coexisted. People can enjoy the world-famous Niagara Falls and the Northern Lights. Its beautiful nature is home to diverse animals such as moose and beavers. In urban areas, traditional buildings such as Notre Dame Cathedral and modern architecture are harmoniously combined in beautiful cityscape. Canada also has a rich sports culture, with ice hockey being extremely popular. Thus, nature and cities, tradition and modernity are blended in Canada. Canada is a fast-growing startup hub, and many notable companies have been born here. As of February 2024, 27 unicorn companies have been born in Canada, including some of the world's best-known companies. For example, Shopify, which offers an e-commerce platform, and Nuvei, which offers a payment platform, have been raised. This company represented successful Canadian startups. In addition, Canada's investment environment is also very active. In 2023, there were 660 investment transactions across Canada, raising a cumulative 6.9 billion Canadian dollar. This amount of investment demonstrates the growth of the Canadian startup ecosystem and the high level of investment interest. As you can see, Canada is a serving startup nation, but it boasts an outstanding track record, especially in the area of AI. According to Deloitte reports, 670 AI startups have received more than $1 million in investment over the past 5 years. In addition, Canadian generative AI companies have attracted significant investment, which has helped Canada rank third among the G7 countries in terms of total funding per capita placed for generative AI companies. The reason why AI is so strong is that the government is investing heavily in AI, attracting and also nurturing the best and brightest. 3 individuals won the Turing Prize, also known as the Nobel Prize in AI, in 2018. The students received support to go on internship at top Silicon Valley company while still in school. This was a brief introduction to Canada and the Canadian startup scene. From here, Mr. Narimasa Makino will speak with us. He has been a venture capitalist since 2005 and launched Monozukuri Ventures in 2015. Mr. Makino, please speak with us.
Thank you for the introduction, and also thank you for making this a great opportunity today. So I'm pleasure to be and make the presentation about my company and the ecosystem in Canada. Okay, let me share my slide. Okay. Can you see it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now first, okay. Okay, first, and so I like to introduce myself and our company. And the later, and Sabrina is based in the Canada. And now she is staying in Montreal, and she introduced the ecosystem in the Canada and Toronto. Anyway, and first, and I introduce myself and my company, our company. So this is our vision that we make hardware startup together. The later, and I introduce the detail. Anyway, hardware startup company have many problems. So we try to improve the ecosystem and the situation for the hard tech, the deep tech startup company. This is my introduction. So I'm Makino, Narimasa Makino. I'm from Aichi. Now I live in Kyoto, but my hometown in the Aichi. And anyway, and I'm CEO on the Monozukuri Ventures, and I'm chairman of the Monozukuri Startup Consortium. So my background in the venture capital and the accelerator and for the startup company. So I started my career as a venture capital in Kyoto. From that, and I live in the Kyoto, and I have experience with the startup related job in Kyoto, Osaka, about for 20 years. Anyway, I have started Monozukuri Ventures from since 2015, about 10 years, based in Kyoto. Why we started Monozukuri Ventures? What are Monozukuri Ventures? The Monozukuri Ventures, the VC for hard tech startups in Japan, the US. The hard tech and IoT and the industrial tech and material deep tech, anyway, and we in the hard tech means several type of the industry categories. So anyway, it's very hard technology. And this is the technology is very hard. I think in the startup company have a many power, potential, the idea and technology and speed. On the other hand, the Japanese manufacturing can do the contribute via startup company for the mass production, the QCD. And the coverage is very important. We try to make industry innovation through the coverage. And anyway, and we try to promote this coverage and through our service, like investment, the technical support, and the business development. So anyway, and I explained the detail later. This is the figure very and the easy to understand why, and we focus on hard tech. The hardware is very hard, is common for the startup company. The hardware startup company, hard-tech startup company have many problems. The one of the big problem is the design for manufacturing. The design for manufacturing is the before the mass production phase, everything is changing. But the startup company that cannot overcome this the barriers, this is a problem. So many startup company that fail to ship to the mass production. That we can contribute this phase. We in this the umbrella. So we try to do and become the umbrella for the startup company. Through the supporting the manufacturing, the prototyping to the mass production. Why we are based in Kyoto? The Kyoto has a big potential for hard-tech startup company. The Kyoto and the company in the based in the headquarters in the Kyoto. The Kyocera, the Nidec, and the Nintendo, Horiba, the Shimazu, the Murata, the Rohm, Omron. These are company that have a headquarters in the Kyoto. Why and the company that have a headquarters in the Kyoto? So because the Kyoto has a very history, has a history. In the history in the so many in the technology in the stacking. The one of the case in the traditional technology. The traditional technology in the transfer did the high technology. The one that for example in the port technology in the contribute to the semiconductor, and writing technology contribute to the writing PCB, and Japanese sake technology and this contribute to the healthcare and medical. Anyway, the traditional technology in the related to the high technology. And another aspect in the prototype network. This is Kyoto Shisakunet. The Shisaku meaning the prototyping. The Kyoto Shisakunet is the one of our partners. The prototype network supporting the and the Kyoto and the large company the manufacturing quality. The Kyoto Shisakunet in the founded by about 20 years ago. And now in about 50 the small and middle enterprise joined this network, including the mechanical PCB and the several the industry. That they can provide solution service for the prototyping. Now in this group is the largest prototyping network in Japan. About 1,000 the inquiries per year. Anyway, this network in can contribute overcome this barrier with together. And the Kyoto and the Nagoya and Aichi in the not so far. The Shinkansen that take us about 30 minutes by the Shinkansen. The often I go to the Nagoya Aichi, and I think in the people that can come to the Kyoto and very easy. Anyway, and our company, the overview in the Monozukuri Ventures, we have the three service. We have the office in the Toronto, Canada, and the US, New York, and San Francisco, and the Kyoto. We have the three services. The first is the technical consulting service. As I mentioned, the startup company that have a problem on the manufacturing. Now we can introduce and our partners, SMEs. But on the other hand, and the culture is different. The speed and some of the technical, the background culture. So we are translator between the startup company and the SMEs. So this is our first service that give us the consulting, the prop and translation service for the startup company and the SMEs. So far we have had more than 200 projects for the prototyping and mass production of the startup company and the large company. The second service in the investment. The startup company have so many problems. One of the big problem is the money. And we have started the venture fund since 2017. Now we have two funds. And the first fund 2017, second fund 2021. Anyway, so far we have invested over the 50 investment portfolio company. The last is of innovation. Our portfolio company, the most of the hardware startup company is not the B2C business. Most of the startup company, the B2B and the B2B2C business. Now we introduce the startup company to the large company, Japanese large company. But you know the most of the Japanese large companies so close to innovation. So far they have done everything by themselves. If when I introduce the startup company to them, but a large company, how to support, how to contribute the startup company, they have no idea. We are the translator between the startup company and the large company as well. And now we have started the open innovation service since last year. This is our portfolio company. So far, and we have the 57 portfolio company in Japan and US. At a glance in the hardware, hard tech, but many and include the variety of the industry, the healthcare, the sport and the beauty, related to the IoT business, and the robot, the industrial tech, including the AI software, the semiconductor, the deep tech, and the material parts, the agriculture, the clean tech, the other ones. And the US in the now in the 30, the portfolio company, the Japan, and the 27, the portfolio company. This is some of the cases, the SMART and they are based in Tokyo, the IoT service. They developed the real-time, the physical inventory management system. They developed this is MART, the smart scale. If you're putting some of the parts and the product on the MART and the measure automatically the scale. And some of the lack of the parts, in that case, ordered automatically, and automatically in the inventory management system. For the Japanese manufacturing company, include in the Toyota and and the automotive company, and some of the IC and then the anyway manufacturing company. Now and they have developed this manufacturing over the 100,000 units. The second in the Rutilia, the AI, they are based in Kyoto. They do they did the many pivot. The startup company had the first idea, but if they do the business, but in some cases they give us some of the feedback and changing the business model. Now this company did the pivot. The first in they did the AI business for the manufacturing company, but now they developed AI platform for the manufacturing government. And yesterday they did the press release for the Nikkei Shimbun. They received the big project from the Japanese government. They make the AI data center. And now now AI is a big market, but the data center is the lack of the resources. And they give us the data center for the startup company for the government. And anyway, I think the 20 million the Japanese yen, US dollar from the government. And they now starting the construction of the AI data center in the Fukushima. This is Hamamatsu and based in the company in the Magic Shield. This company very unique in this idea. This is the floor mat for the hospital and nursing the center. This name is the Koroyawa. The Koroyawa is very unique in the structure, the fractured free. If you walk on the mat and you can smooth and walking. But if you the falling down on the mat and the texture and the structure is changing and the escape the damage of the this is full structure free. Now in they make the floor mat for the 1,000 the floor mat for the in Japanese and the hospital. And maybe the last is Edge Cortex, the Edge AI startup company. They have the headquarters in the Singapore, but now in the headquarters moved to the Tokyo. Why and they moved to Tokyo? And this company that developed the AI Edge. The AI Edge is very needed for in the future. Why and the AI Edge is needed? Because now from now in the AI and the several the product and collect the data. The software and the send this data to the cloud. but the latency and some of the cases in the so very and unsecure. The AI age in the local and so devices, the very high speed and the very and secure so service. And so this is the device is needed for the so the automobile and so very and so the sensitive so the manufacturing machine. And the industry in the so the center in the Japan. And so they and so the move to the Tokyo. They collaborate with SoftBank and the Renesas. The Renesas unit so the semiconducting company. And so they and so collaborate with the Renesas and make a new chip. And this is a tech consulting service and very easy to understand. And anyway, and so the Orphe and they and so make a smart shoes. But so they and did so many people. The left side is the first product in the bright and so smart shoes. If you had a dance and so that case and so the shoes in the so bright for the so dancing. But so they and so made so the pivot and so change the business model for the so the sports, for the so healthcare, for the so the manufacturing. And we have supported their manufacturing from the beginning. And so brighting and so the shoes and so make it so the sensor chip. Now they collaborate with the A6 in the Japanese sports maker, and now in the so the healthcare company, the Japanese healthcare company, and for the so the for the health for the how can I say the rehabilitation. This is our last start, the business development, open innovation. So many startup companies that have wanted to contact the Japanese manufacturing company, but they have no idea how to do that for the startup company. And on the other hand, Japanese large company is the same. We are the translator. This case in the Arieka, the base in the US. They make the material for the semiconductor. They did the small lot production in their laboratory. They looking for the mass production partner. That Japan the material is very good in the company. And we in the contact the several the Japanese material company. The one of the companies in the Nissan Chemical was interested in their product, and they POC the proof of the concept, and the outcome is very good. And now in the they made the mass production partner that have started in the mass production. And so we and the found in the first the client and role and they are based in Kyoto. They and develop and several the semiconductor. And so we and our member in introduce the this product to the loan. The loan in was interested as well. And now in the Nissan Chemical loan and the Arieka and us in the we make the project team for the new product in the loan. But anyway, and so business development is very important for the hard tech, deep tech startup company. And this is focus on that business development. This is our community. And so if you have chance, and please come to our office. And we have the office in the Kyoto, especially the Umekoji. Sorry, in this is Japanese caliber. And Umekoji in the very close to the Kyoto station. The one station, from the Kyoto station. This area in the Kyoto Central Market. The central market is the food market, but this is the distribution amount in the declining. And so many wholesale companies that close, shut down the garage. And we renovate the garage to the new space for the startup company and artists, the creators. We have the office in the Umekoji market. The Umekoji market behind the garage. Now we are renovating for the new space for the manufacturing. The first floor in the DMG in the machinery company in the metal 3D printer and 5-axis CNC. The second floor in the community space. Produced by the Kyoto Shinkin, the local bank. The third floor, we have the office in our company and the Stacknet and as I mentioned. And the craft, collaboration, the craftsman in this. And we have the fab space in the close to the Umekoji market, the Kyoto Makers Garage. The Kyoto Makers Garage in the fab space for the artist, creator, and startup company. We can provide in the 3D printer service and the laser cutter service. Anyway, and anybody that can use the space. And not only our spaces and the artist in residence and the craft beer, craft coffee, and the startup company office. Anyway, and continuously and we and the renovate that if the so new and so the garage in the so that can be ready, and we are renovate to the so the new space. That is the last slide. We try to make a global ecosystem for hard tech startup company. Of course, Japan has a big potential to support in the hard tech startup company, but Japan is not enough. And we and the make a relationship with the ecosystem, other and the supply chain. And so we try to make an opportunity and to use our ecosystem for the startup company. The Canada in we have the office and Canada in from the last year. That I think the Canada has a big potential. That because as he mentioned, the Canada in the startup, the ecosystem in very end that becoming enough. The AI in one of the big and target. The AI in has a big potential to make innovation to change the world. And but only the AI is not existed. The AI connected something. This and the something in the manufacturing in the big potential. And we can contribute the startup company and not only Japan, the all over the startup company. That's all. Okay. The last 5 minutes and the Q&A session.
Yes, thank you very much, Makino-san. Do you have any questions, listeners? Like we can unmute you so that you please raise hands if you have questions. And Makino-san can stay until 10:30 only, so we have only 5 minutes. So if you want to ask questions, please raise hands.
Yeah, if you have any question, so Sabrina can answer. The Sabrina and before and she and stay in Japan, stay in Kyoto.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knows so many things in the Kyoto ecosystem.
Yeah.
I have a question. So
Yes.
What are some of the key points you focus on when providing a consulting service to startup or something?
Yes, and thank you for the good question. Yeah, and so before and so we and so have some ideas of investment service, but as I mentioned, the hard tech and deep tech startup and you have the many problems. The money problem is not only not only the money problem. They also have the other problem. That is technical consulting, prototype manufacturing problem, and the business development to the business company. And we add several service beside that investment.
Thank you. Thank you for answering.
Yeah, so we have very unique venture capital. You have the image for the venture capital invest money, but this is all type. I think it's all type of venture capital. Now in the US venture capital, not only the money service, and the provide several the service, the human resources service, and the consulting. Then venture capital is also changing.
You have other questions?
Okay. What are some of the difficulty in doing business in more than across the country? Something the cultural difference
Yes.
affect your business?
Yes. I saw the change. Yeah, and the first thing is of course in the language problem. But not only the language problem in the hardware, the startup company, the manufacturing company, the different culture, the business culture. And how to do this overcome this culture gap. This is our big challenge. And so the startup company and the large company, and some case in the startup company, the Japanese, the SMEs, the different culture. And we are our company they have several team in the investment team and the manufacturing team, and this is the same. And so even if our company is the same. And this is also the company value, one of the company value, one team. The one team is a very important concept for us for the startup company as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nagoya is famous for the hard tech companies, I think, like deep tech technologies. So like
Yeah, I think so.
yeah. Do you have like any like a collaboration to like a IT
Yes, yes. And so this year, and so we received in this project of the from the Aichi prefecture for the acceleration program for the manufacturing startup company with the Deloitte.
Mm.
And you know the Aichi in the station AI that will be started, and so we and the give the we and give the service in the kind of service in for the station AI for the manufacturing. And I am often visiting the IG now.
Thank you, great. So I think it's gonna be time. If do you have any questions? Oh, yes. Okay, there is a question from Tira. I'm gonna unmute. Tira-san, do you,
Mic off.
Can you hear me?
yes.
So thank you for your presentation. I just wanted to ask whether the company that you have provides any consulting services to startups of different fields as well, like if it's a nonprofit organization or like a humanities related startup.
Yes, and so we are the very small company, and so we cannot do so many things, and we just focus on the technical consulting and of innovation, the investment. Of course, and so we and so make us collaboration with the other company for the human resources something, and so other companies in the future.
But I think if there's any component that it relates to hardware or prototype
Yes.
physical, we could still work and provide services independently of investments.
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Yeah, and we and so we are the like this startup company. We are very small team, and so we have to focus on the industry, the our service.
Thank you. Then I think Makino-san is time for leave, and we move to Sabrina-san.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for the and taking time and please have a good day. Sabrina, good luck.
Thank you. Bye bye,
Yeah.
Makino-san. Thank you.
Okay. From here, we turn to Miss Sabrina Sasaki. She joined Monozukuri Venture 2015 as a first employee. She works with ecosystem partner to help build long-term relationships between the North America startup ecosystem and Japanese deep tech and manufacturing resources. Ms. Sasaki, please speak with us.
Thank you for the kind introduction. I will share my screen now. So my presentation will probably be complementary to Makino's presentation. I am part of the investment team, and I'm in charge of the Canada office. What I will address during our today's session is one about us, Monozukuri Ventures in Canada. So Makino-san already spoke about our global vision and how the headquarters in Japan approach some of our service offer. I will talk specifically about my role since we established an office in Canada. Also, a few of our activities in North America, including our series of events called Deep Tech Forum, and including collaboration with other local partners in the ecosystem of startup hubs of Canada and North America. Challenges that startups face in Canada, and also on the bright side, opportunities that I see in Canada for entrepreneurs and startups, especially in the deep tech and AI sectors. Before we move over, we have been recognized by Forbes 2022 as one of the few independent VCs that are focused on industrial tech. So in our case, our focus is deep tech and manufacturing. And we see that the future of manufacturing will have to have many factors into consideration. That goes from advanced materials, sensors, components, software solutions, AI improvements, and many new technologies that are very hard for startups to develop and also for corporations to adapt. So I think working with startups, and we focus on a very specific, narrow market, is a way to differentiate ourselves. And that's how we've been recognized. Even though we are a very small team, a small fund from Japan, we are in the top players in the industrial VC ecosystem, the only Japanese on this list by Forbes. Most of the companies there, firms you see there, are from the US. There are a few from Europe, but still none of those are from Canada, unfortunately. Before we go deep into that, Makino mentioned our service offer, but some point that many people are not quite familiar with is, what is a VC role like? How does a VC firm work? And I got those slides to just give a brief overview of what it is like. Basically, the role of a VC firm like ours, we manage investment funds, and those investment funds tend to have a 10-year life cycle. And in this 10-year fund, we are supposed to collect capital from limited partners, who are also called our investors or LPs, put this money into a fund, and then from this fund, we will invest and allocate money to invest in new companies and continue support other companies. And that's basically our role here as a VC and a fund manager, or also consider a general partner. What does it mean is that VCs have during the cycle of a fund as a VC firm, we have different roles and we have to do different things managing funds. One of the most important is fundraising. We need to find investors. Those are Japanese large corporations, banks, pension funds, and other capital providers who are interested in what we are doing, who also believe that we should invest in the future of manufacturing and want to be part of our journey as strategic investors. And then we get those investments. We use those investments to reinvest into startups that we select. And once startups grow, we can actually have returns of investment, make exits if the company is acquired or if the company goes public, also called as IPO. And then once the returns comes to our fund, we pay our investors and also reinvest the money back to the company and to the system, because the more capital we have, the more chances we have to continue growing and reinvest in the same capital. And the result in the last years of our two funds, we became the only Japanese seed VC in deep tech in the US and Canada. So among all the large corporations and investors you see in Canada and the US, most of those are corporate funds that prefer later stages, because later stages are less risky and there are more defined business models or product market fit for startups when they are developing their business journey. We, on the other hand, are what we call an early stage VC, who are very focused on companies that are still trying to figure out how to do. So they have an idea, they have a prototype, they need to figure out how to manufacture, how to find customers, how to find revenue generation, recurrent revenue. And that's when we help them, not only, as Makino mentioned, with money, but also, and most importantly, with our networks of business partners and expertise in how to manufacture and sell products in the hard tech space. So far, there's no other Japanese VC with this type of structure investing so early. And our function is also to help generate volume of business and getting our strategic investors used to the risks and the journey and the kind of resources that startups need in order to succeed. And if all large companies and CVCs want to see more companies at later stages to invest, we need to have more volume at the bottom. We need to have more startups very early on, getting small investments, achieving their milestones, and getting some business success. So that's why we've been playing this very important role as a B2B deep tech, translating challenges in manufacturing industries between North America and Japan. So the type of resources that hard tech startups need are very broad, and there's no recipe for success for hard tech startups. Depending on the type of technology, if they are advanced materials, they need one kind of solution. If they are a robotics company providing sensors or components, they might have another challenge or be working with different kind of groups. So then that's why we got our LPs and strategic partners from different industries in Japan. They are leaders in their own segment, either in the medical space, making devices, or in the robotics, or material providers, and also financial institutions who see the value of having this amount of expertise to support startups, because without the basis, it's like a pyramid. Without the basis of startups, we were not going to get to a larger volume of exits, either acquisitions or IPO. We invested in the two regions. Our check size is usually at seed stage, something around $300,000 US. That's enough for a company to get more investors, put together something, and work on prototype, achieve business sales, and so on. And then we follow on up to Series A. Yeah, and regarding our regional focus, besides our office in Japan, are all activities in the domestic market in Japan. We have only those two countries that we operate, the US and Canada. And the reason is very simple. This is a hub of industrial and manufacturing expertise, and there are many universities, accelerators, and customers. So this is the perfect environment in which we see new technologies being tested, adopted, and the growth of startup hubs. So as you can see here, between the US and Canada, there's this area where they're known as the Great Lakes. There's a lot of industrial hubs here, and that's where all the best universities and research and customers, industries are based. So that's the reason why we work between those regions. That's where Toronto is. That's where our office is in Toronto. Montreal, where I am today for an event. And you can see Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Chicago, and all the way to Minneapolis. This is a very, even though we are talking about Canada, the real geographic location of those cities within Canada really makes the US a very important market and neighbor south of Canadian border. Again, that's just to give you an idea of concentration of the industries. The blue side on the left, as you can see, it's a very limited amount of industries regarding spatial distribution. So the one on the right, you can see they're more yellowish or orange and red. This is where most of the industries, the old industry in the East Coast, went all the way from the East Coast to the Midwest of the US. And that's also equivalent to Canada, and especially in the border. That top area of the US that is has no colors, that's where Canada is, and that's where we are based. So far, we have been nurturing and engaging with Japanese companies and local ecosystems here in North America, and bringing people from Japan to the US and Canada, and also taking some of our US and Canadian partners to Japan to make sure this conversation about the future of deep tech in manufacturing includes Japanese B2B partnerships. So we had an event early in March in Toronto, early in January in Toronto. That was the first event of the year, and also our first event in Canada. We did it with the support of many local partners, law firm offices, accelerators, incubators, universities, and they all came together, bringing the best they have to try to improve the quality and the support for hard tech and deep tech startups. And then we also had one in New York, another one in Pittsburgh, one in Boston, and then we took the series to Japan, bringing some of our partners from North America to Japan to get this movement between those countries keep flowing. Why we focus in North America? I get this question all the time because Europe has so many great countries, and I also love Europe. But the reality is 45% of the top startup ecosystems is in North America. The majority of those are still in the US because that's a largest market. But as you can see here from this slide, Toronto Waterloo is growing very fast and is currently between the 17. And on the second slide, there are new ecosystems also from Canada that are becoming more significant with more startups and more investment. So it would be Vancouver, Montreal, considered as like the runners up, helping to get the ecosystem more mature as it grows. And that's the latest data from Startup Blank I got from this year, 2024. This is a new report that has been published that shows that Canada is considered as of today the fourth best country for startups in the world. The number one is in the US, second UK, third Israel, and Canada is the fourth. So Japan is not even on the top 10 for reasons that you might be familiar with, but I think Japan doesn't have the amount of incentives for startups to succeed as the other countries are doing. And about the hub for AI and machine learning, that's what Canada has been positioning itself. It's not marketing, it's not propaganda. The reality is there's high quality, the top global quality of research in AI and machine learning has been from Canada. And those professors are 3 professors who were not born in Canada, but they moved to Canada, started their research in their labs and developed decentralized different ecosystems, but they have become the godfathers and the center of what is we know today as the AI and the new approaches to AI. And also you see female professors from the University of Toronto who also have very interesting self-driving lab who end up joining Uber. So the professors from Canadian universities that are doing the best in quality research are being hired by the top tech companies to help them guide into AI and autonomies, because those are new industries that we still don't have enough professionals to be hired. So those are the professors training the future talent that will be able to take those jobs. And one interesting part from a strategic government policy in Canada, you can see that the country is divided into hubs of AI. And I think the most relevant hubs are, of course, Toronto, number 1. That's where our office is. Montreal, number 2. And then Vancouver, more on the West Coast, closer to San Francisco and the Bay Area. And then Waterloo, which is a 2.5 hours from Toronto, is also here. So you see the concentration of AI, and they also focus on expertise. Each region has its focus and has its strength, and then they focus on those clusters for manufacturing and how AI can improve. In that sense, Toronto Waterloo is the place for advanced manufacturing, and Montreal is for supply chain logistics. So those are the 2 areas that are very related to manufacturing. And that's why we see the future of AI being developed. Also, in terms of volume of tech professionals, Canada has a very concentration of tech force because it has great researchers, great universities, and so on. So we see that it is the 3rd largest in North America. So it's only behind San Francisco and New York, which are larger metropolitan areas and large tech hubs with more people and more history. But Toronto Waterloo is going up, and Montreal is a bit behind Chicago, but it's just Montreal is more a mid-sized city. And also Toronto and Waterloo also have not only the high concentration of quality talent, but operational costs, cost of life, living here, renting a place, having an operation, paying taxes as a business. It is very easier for a startup to start a business in Toronto, Waterloo, or Montreal than going somewhere in Boston, New York, or Silicon Valley, just because it's cheaper. So rent is cheaper, salaries are cheaper, and everything becomes easier to do business. So Makino and I have been joining the community. Makino came last year with me to the Collision conference, and even one of our startups that Makino-san showed on his slides. This is Magic Shields, the company working on special materials for hospitals floors to avoid injury by elderly. And they came here because they see Canada as a potential market. So they come here, they meet people, they want to understand the market, the challenges, and they came here last year to pitch at the Collision conference. I'm also engaged with many of the local ecosystem events. I've been chosen as part of a hard tech investor group to join a summit by Venture Lab, which is the largest hard tech accelerator from Canada. You can see me here with the head of CVC for Bosch in San Francisco, and someone from Siemens from the US, and someone from a bank. So we were talking about the future of investment in hard tech in Canada. And I was joined by a very selected group of investors and corporations who see the challenges for hardware startups. So I think joining events, meeting people, changing your perspectives and learning is a very good way to work with startups. Also, we have visited and engaged with ecosystem partners in the cities where we go. So this is University of Toronto. We had a group from Japan coming here early this year. I also joined many of the Mars supply chain AI events. Very interesting to see new approaches to manufacturing. And we have worked with many partners, including BDC, who joined our event early this year to talk about the status of our deep tech investments in Canada. And BDC is a government-funded organization that invests in a lot of startups in the region. One case of successful startup that I want to share with you, I learned today because today I joined this session at this AI event in Montreal, is that one of the startups that has been acquired recently in Canada is called Element AI, and that was founded by Professor Yoshua Benja, who's one of the 3 godfathers of AI in Canada. He founded the company in 2016 and sold it in 5 years, and it was a 230 million Canadian US dollars. So it's a very unique because he's such a respected member and has so many good teams hiring the best talent. His company was able to make this exit very easily, and they don't even have many of the musts in terms of product market fit or focus, but they were so promising and so innovative that they were acquired very easily. Overall, I know we have only 9 minutes left. I want to highlight the challenges for Canadian startups. I think Canada has, for sure, great science, great tech, great universities, great professors, but does it translate necessarily into good companies or good startups? What does it make it difficult for Canadian startups to succeed, either growing or becoming independent or being sold or going public? I think number one, lack of independent investors. So most of the money that Canadian startups in the deep tech space get are from government money, from grants, or investors that have indirect money from local governments. So that is a challenge. We need more private money from corporations and other players in the ecosystem. Second, talent retention. So keeping employees in Canada while they get offers from Silicon Valley is very difficult. Also, commercialization of tech and research is very challenging because you need to have different mindsets and skill sets to sell a business compared to publishing a white paper or getting a funding from a government. And also regulations, right? Deep tech is an industry that takes time. So biotech, medtech, even fintech, highly regulated industries that might be affected. And on the other hand, the advantages is like, well, I think great science and tech can be also good companies if we understand the potential of the Canadian ecosystem. So this great support from government, from grants, tax credit, and funding should be used with the right timing, the right amount, but at certain point, startups should be looking for business and commercial milestones. And one advantage that Canada has is a diverse ecosystem, multicultural, global talent with many types of expertises and working together. I think it's a very impressive ecosystem. And the obvious also proximity to the US market, the largest customer market for anyone. We share a border between Canada and US. You can see, as I mentioned on the slides, one top of the US map that is missing is all Canada, and where most people in Canada live, work, and study. So there are many proximity in terms of physical, in terms of culture, and also trade agreements that make it like a tax benefit between those countries. And also cost of life. So compared to most of the US cities, as I mentioned, Canada is way more affordable, easier to own a business, easier to live, and also the public healthcare system is existing in different than in countries like the US. Japan has a lot to learn and in exchange with Canada and the US, because Japan is the main US and Canada ally in Asia. We've seen changes in the deep tech space that allow Japanese companies to work closer with North America. So I would say in the manufacturing, supply chain, and clean energy transitions, those are things that the Prime Minister of Japan and the counterparts in US and Canada are very working closely, and we see that as a potential thing, especially in chemicals, materials, semiconductors, OEMs, automotives, and electronic components. And I think we will see much more. Hopefully next time you hear about Canada, you see more collaboration between Japanese and Canadian startups. I think that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sabrina.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions, listeners? Please raise hands. Then or like you can add write in the QA session, QA box or chat box.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
I understand the factors that make it difficult for Canadian startups to succeed, but how does your company support and help startup, and how startup deal with such factors?
Yeah, I think we are a small fund. We are not the one usually providing the largest amount of investment when we invest in the startup. So as we are a small team, not much money, we make sure to focus on the companies we can really invest and provide value right away. So most of the companies I've met in Canada, they are either too early for us, so they don't have a working prototype, or too late. They already passed the phase where our money and resources could make the difference. So as a VC, we have to be very careful on finding the companies that can benefit mostly from our expertise. And if we cannot invest, we always connect startups to other investors and potential partners or customers that could be interested, not necessarily in providing services or getting service from those startups, but just to give an initial feedback so they can improve or change if something is off. I think that's the main way we offer value to startups.
Thank you for answering.
do you have other questions?
What is your vision for the future of Manuscript Ventures, and what? Yeah.
Well, I want, first of all, our Fund 3 to be successful and we can continue raising more money from our strategic Japanese investors, especially manufacturers. I would love to see more companies from Nagoya and Aichi can involve with us. And once we have our new funds, we can continue investing in more startups and actually providing unique value and getting Japanese companies to acquire or work closely with startups in North America. And then I think we would see a future where Japanese companies can adapt to the future of AI into manufacturing, and they can get prepared for what the next generations will be, especially in the, I think energy and climate tech are very important segments that I think Japanese have the right fit to make the difference. I think we just need to find the right stakeholders, right people in each organization, and get them to work together with startups that are changing the way we do business in manufacturing. Because I think manufacturing is a very heavy industry that has historically caused a lot of issues in the climate environment. So I think that's a big point that we can make the difference.
Thank you.
Thank you for answering. Yeah.
Is there no question from the audience? Well, then there's an announcement. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for speaking your experience.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we have 1 minute left, so we would like to do some announcement.
I would like to introduce an event on September 18 at 16:30. The Japanese version of T Chan will be held at Nagoya University NIC building. We will be inviting Mr. Todokoro, who is involved in entrepreneurship on the side while working for SoftBank. You can register from Tongari's website, so please join this event.
Thank you. Then Sabrina-san again, and also Makino-san, thank you very much for sharing about your company and your experience, and that would be very fun. That was fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you. 皆さんよろしくお願いします。
Thank you very much.
Bye. Thank you.